Selamat Lebia. Hawlin keme çağırırken Jai Rabrudumun keme dua kautum. Jara hawlin keme çağırırken harayan den. طبعا واني كأقداري بنقوم لايفا ام لايفا بجورة جورة كان بيشكش كردني بابتي كاكردن وكو خوبخش لغلط ويقولتو كانا yes I'll wait a few more minutes of course. So this live would be in English because some of you have already sent text messages to some of the relevant web pages asking to do another webinar in English because some of you are coming from the southern and middle part, the southern part of Iraq. That's why I'm trying to communicate with you in English. And if you have any question at the end of the video, we can answer your questions. But I'm going to wait a little bit more. And if you have friends that you think that they might be interested, it would be very kind to share the live video with them so they can join us. Okay, who's with us? Can you tell us where are you from? I would like to see from which city you are listening and watching us. لتشو لقلمانا حزكم بزانم أو تانك online. Hi Yasser, good to have you here. If you just can tell us in which city you're living and are you living inside Iraq or outside Iraq, so you'd like to see where are you guys from. Well, from dear Baghdad. We will say hi to Baghdad. And if, well, I assume that you can hear me clearly now. Welcome Iman from Erbil. I'm gonna explain it a little bit later if you just can be patient a little bit because there is some instruction I would like to tell you before I start the detail or the content of the video or the webinar so that your question will be answered properly and also have time to present the general idea of the topic before we come to the questions. Okay, so so far we have 15 viewers. Can you tell me how many of you speaks English or you understand English? Just write me or raise a hand. Okay, Dia, so I'm going to start in a few more minutes if you just hold on a bit. All right. Welcome Hangao, welcome Sarah. Thank you very much. That's better because I think the last time we started. Thank you, dear Rabin. I'm from Sulaimaniyah, but I'm currently, well. So I'm really glad that the last video was very helpful, and the impact that I hear from different websites, from different Facebook pages, that there are many of you who are interested in knowing more about the topic, that actually encouraged me to come back again and to repeat and actually add some more information, maybe in the first live you couldn't cover all the topic. Maybe you've had some questions and answer. So this time I'm trying to be more clear, and especially for our friends, brothers and sisters, and from the Arabic part of Iraq, or even from abroad, outside Iraq, if you have someone watching us. So it'd be great to have you here. Okay, those who are listening right now, can you tell me, or maybe write me in the comment box, what are you exactly interested in, and what are you interested about, and what do you like to ask about? If there's something special you would like me to include it in my explanation, it will be great. So I'll answer you. Hello dear, welcome. Well, Yasser, we are going to talk about that, but in particular our tonight's video is about, basically is about how to join or how to become a volunteer working in general, and how to become a volunteer with the United Nations, as they have their own system that's very well established, and each of you can fill out the form and to have data and to have information on the system that we're going to explain. And so basically this is about the career aspect involvement, but when it comes to studying, I promise you that maybe later on in another video or another live you would like to cover it gladly. Sadi Galali, we are going to explain that. Suren, yes, of course, and we'll come to that. If you reach 30, you are going to start. So you'd better invite your friends. کاک جاسم ئەبێ ببووری ڤیدۆی ئەم شەومان بە ئینگلیزیە لەبەرەوەی کە ئەوانەی کە بە کوردی لە هەفتەی ڕابردووە یاخود دوو هەفتەی ڕابردووە لایڤمان کرد بە کوردی، زۆرێک لەوانی کە لایڤەکەیان بینیوە کوردی تێناگەن، لەبەرەوە حەزەکەین لەبەر ئەوەش کە ئەم بابەتە زۆر پەیوەندیە بەوانەوە کە ئینگلیزی ئەزانن، لەبەرەوە چ لە خوشکبرا عەرەبەکانمان چ لەوانەش کە لە کورد ئینگلیزی ئەزانن، کەواتە تۆ سەرەتا پێویستە ئاستی ئینگلیزی بزانین، لەبەرەوە کە بە ئینگلیزی قسە بکەین ئەوەی کە کوردی ئەزانێ، ئەوەی کە ناشی زانێت توانین زمانی هاوبەشمان زمانی ئینگلیزی بێت. Suren Ahmed, my full name is Abbas Ali Hassan. I don't know what else have you wrote. So yeah, basically this video is about explanation in English so that everybody could understand it, and then actually my target is those people who are speaking English, and by that I mean even those of you who doesn't speak English. I recommend you to watch these videos, because that will help you to improve your English language, which is the key factor that can improve your access and improve your chances to be able to get an opportunity working with the international organizations or the UNV, which is the topic of tonight. کاک جاسم جان بەداخەوە ڤیدۆکەی ئەمڕۆمان دیسانە ئەڵێمەوە بۆ هاوڕێیانی کەیان بە ئینگلیزیە، بەڵام ئەگەر پێو خۆش بێت لەسەر هەمان بابەت قسەمان کردووە، ئەگەر بگەڕێتەوە بۆ پیجەکەی خۆم بە کوردی باسم کردووە، هەمووەکو ڤیدۆکە هەمووەکو بە شێوەیەکی کردداری هەنگاو بە هەنگاو لەسەر سکرینەکە ئاماژەم بە هەمووی کردو، توانێت بگەڕێتەوە بۆ ئەوە. Okay. Lubna, yes, if you can go back to my webpage, Abbas Ali, you can find the link for the form and also the link for the detail how to fill the form out. Okay. So are you guys ready? Shall we start? Hello, Chiro, welcome. Okay. I'm going to ask you a favor. If you can save your questions, I'm going to see it, I'm going to read it, but I'm going to answer your questions at the end of my presentation. The reason for that, I would like you to listen to the general topic and to all the components of the UNV program, and if there is anything that you found unanswered, I am very happy to respond to your questions and give you more details. Okay. First of all, I would like to give you a general brief about the volunteerism. Volunteerism is a concept that is recognized worldwide, and every country has a group of people that are caring for others. So basically this comes from the insight that everyone has intention to help others, to help the community, to help who are vulnerable, who are less privileged. So it's about granting or contributing to others without expecting any return from them. So volunteerism can be in different means, in different ways you can do things, you can contribute to your community. So worldwide you have different young professionals, young groups, or even from organizations who are dedicated working for the weak groups or for less privileged groups that they don't have access to the basic needs of life, to the education, to the dignified life, to anything that can make a human being respected and live with dignity. So I am receiving questions from all of you from time to time on my webpage asking this simple question: how can I become a member of United Nations, or how can I work for an organization? This is very important, that first of all to understand that there is no such thing that I'd like to be a member. So I'm not going to give you, if you are here to listen, a very quick step or like how to become a millionaire in 7 days. That's not the case actually. First of all, I would like you all to understand that if you want to have a genuine success in life, there is no shortcut in life. If somebody told you there's a shortcut, if somebody became something because somebody supported them, that's not success. Even that's success, if the source of support is deprived, the person will fail. So you are talking about the genuine success. How you can rely on yourself, how can you build your career, how can you invest in yourself. So in that case, you have to be very, very patient. And you have to understand that there are steps to take. It's not about you are graduating and you are joining and you will go up on the ladder of your career. Because that's not the right way. The right way is you have to try different things until you find your own hobbies or your own interests or your qualifications, that you find your skills are matching with other, with relevant fields that you'd like to continue or carry on your career, and to find a career path for yourself. So, volunteerism with the United Nations, it has 3 steps, or you can say on 3 levels you can volunteer with United Nations. First, you can volunteer nationally. So you can volunteer as a national of your country, like in your country, you can be a volunteer with United Nations, and also you can volunteer abroad, that you will be an international volunteer, staff member working with United Nations, or you will work as an online volunteer. So online volunteer that you don't have to go out to the field or to another country, you just simply contribute online through your computer, working with other groups outside your country or outside your city that you can help. So people are asking, do I have to have a good English skill? Yes, actually, unfortunately, if you want to join international working environment, it's very important that you have a good level of understanding, speaking, writing English. Otherwise, it's very difficult, or it's not very feasible to communicate and to get involved. So basically, you have to know some level of English. And fortunately, in our country, I am very proud to see that the new generation are amazing and they have a good English language skill, beside the professional skills that they have been building during their schools, their universities. So literally you can say that we have a great number of young people. The only thing that they lack is how can they access the right opportunity. And gladly there are thousands and thousands of opportunity out there waiting for you guys. All you need to do, just to be a hard worker, to research and to dedicate some time every single day searching and diving into the web pages and surf the web pages and look for the things that are in your interest. So I cannot give you a quick link and just get you on board. It's not the easy way. So please don't get me wrong. When I say that you can be a member, some of you will send me a message and ask me, please can you help me to become a volunteer? So I cannot give you the fish. I can teach you how to fish. That's the right thing. So basically, for the international volunteer, there is an organization inside the UN agency or the UN system called United Nations Volunteer, or UNV, unv.org. If you can refer. Aiden, I'm going to answer all the questions at the end. If you can bear with me, I'll be grateful. So, if you would like to be international volunteer, first of all, there is no way you can get on board unless you have filled out the online application form and you are exist in the talent pool. What's talent pool? Talent pool is literally, if you can translate it, it's a place that you are putting all your skills, informations and data to that pool, and based on that you will be available and you will tell the UNV that I have these skills, I have these qualifications, and I would like to volunteer and I'm available. So before that you have to have your form filled out and all your information, the personal data, the qualifications, the professional experiences, and if you have any references you have to fill it out. And for all of you who have missed the previous live, I recommend you to go back to my page and watch the screen live video that can be very helpful for you to follow. So when you fill out the form, as I mentioned, you have to include everything. If you have any volunteerism experience inside your country, you can include it, and it's a good thing to add. If you have taken any courses, any capacity building courses, you have to include it. When you fill out the form, your data will be saved. And the UNV office headquarters is in Bonn in Germany. That's managed by 150 staff members. Every year or annually, around 6,000 or to 6,500 UNVs are working in the field. So like you guys who apply online and will get accepted, then based on that you will be deployed to those countries who are in need, and in particular those countries who are living in crisis, that they have situations. For example, if they have natural disasters, refugee flow, armed conflict, whether it's international armed conflict or national armed conflict between militias and the state actors. So those countries, they are the focus of the United Nations agencies or other international organizations to be present. So basically, you have to expect a hardship situation. It's not an easy and relaxing environment, but it's challenging, but still it's rewarding. So I'm telling you that you will enjoy it. It's it's an adventure for you. So you will learn a lot. You will interact with many international staff members. We get a chance to go. Okay, so for the international, as I mentioned, you must have several conditions to be able to meet the conditions or the requirements. In terms of age, you have to be at least 22 years old, and you must speak English, write, understand. And then it's better, actually, some of them or most of the positions are asking that you must have at least 2 years experience. So it can be in any field you can join. What I mean, you can be in the talent pool, then we'll go to the next steps. When you are meeting the right conditions, you will be eligible for the positions, and you have 2 categories that you can apply to. In general, when you fill out the form, your account will be active, and it will on the right, on the top, you can see that it's written that you're active and you have a roster number. So it means you're available and you're active and you're visible to the UNV employees. So whenever in a certain countries, for example in in Africa, in Somalia, in Sudan, in any other country, in New York, in Geneva, wherever they have the UN headquarters, in Nairobi, maybe in Thailand, in Bangkok, so everywhere you are eligible. If there is any position and you have a competitive skills, then you'll have a chance to be invited for interview. So here's how it works. First of all, you have your information in the talent pool, and then the UNV is going to scan for the talents for the right positions. So when you say positions, there is no certain position that you say only those fields are lucky to be in the UN system. So I'd like to say this time, as I said in Kurdish, you should understand that UN has a broad mission, and you have different fields that, I mean, it can include almost every majors, whether it's law, political science, medicine, anything, nursery, anything that you studied can be included. But please don't forget that it doesn't mean that if you are a graduated from like law college or medicine, you cannot apply to a different position that's different from your major or from your qualifications. So if you have, I mean, aside or a part of your studying, if you've had experiences in the NGOs or working as an activist, as a human rights activist, as a politician, as any field that you find it not similar or doesn't match your qualification or certificate, you are still allowed, or you are still eligible to apply for a different position. So please do not be disappointed by that. Never say that this is not my field, so I am receiving such comments that I have graduated from this faculty. Do I have a position, or do I have a similar position to apply? You don't have to worry about that. So the second thing for that, and the following, my advice is never stop having experience. So volunteerism is very important. The reward is not material, actually. When you contribute, you will get the reward in different means. First of all, it's something that makes you happy, that you are helping others, that you are making some positive contribution. Second, Mr. Salar, if you can, actually I see your questions. If you can remind me in the end of the video, it will be great. Actually, I'm going to reply it. So, as I mentioned, you must have experiences. So whenever you graduate and you don't have a chance, the government is not providing opportunities for the graduates, for the fresh graduates. It doesn't mean that you have to sit at home or spend most or all of your time in the cafeteria. So you can go to cafeteria a couple of hours, but you still can dedicate a couple of hours every day helping the society, which is now is a norm. Actually, it's a trend in Europe or in the Western countries. For example, if a country has population of 9 million people, a triple of them are volunteer members of organization, which means that each individual is a volunteer in 3 different organizations, not only one. So when they have free time, whether it's weekend or beyond working hours, they are going to volunteer. And therefore, I encourage all of you, especially I'm looking that most of you are coming from the young generation, that you either recently graduated or you are still students. So you have ambitions, you'd like to know how to start your career. For that, I encourage you never waste any time. Try to involve, whether in your college, in university, anything that you find there's an event, try to participate. Because one day, without being noticed, one day when you go to a work interview, when you are invited for a position or for an opportunity, you never know how that can help you, your previous involvement. So, we understand that your qualification or certificate is important, but you should understand that experiences, whether it's volunteer or paid experience, is as important as your study. So never expect that your bachelor or master degree takes you anywhere if you have no experiences, if you are not talented. So try to find your hobby, try to find your talent, and try to get involved. So I did that in my life actually. I have worked in different fields so that I have different skills. So I'll be flexible. Whenever there is an opportunity, there is a spot for me. I can apply because someday, somewhere on this planet, I have contributed in a position or I worked somewhere that gave me the skill. So actually the experience is not only about you having number of years, accumulating number of years, but actually it will build your personality, your professional personalities. So when you go to a job interview, you will be more confident comparing to a person that have never been to any real life experience. Maybe he or she has been studying, or she has a great certificate or a great degree, has PhD, but she doesn't have the skill, she doesn't have the communication skill. So, for the international volunteer, as I mentioned, as soon as you are spotted as a talented person, from the UNV, the colleagues from UNV are going to contact you if you are competitive, because there are people applying from everywhere. So you have to carry on your own life, and still you have this aside, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to check it every time. You have your own email. If there is any invitation, it comes to your email and you will be alerted about it. The next step, after you are invited, actually for each position that will be advertised, which is on a regular basis. It's not about a limited time. So there, on a regular basis, there are positions on the website that they are going to look for the right candidate. So they are going to contact you, with you along with two other candidates from the talent pool. You will receive an email and you will be asked if you are available to be included for the interview. So when you receive this email, they're going simply to ask you, are you available? If you're available, please tell us the date of your availability. For example, you say I'm available, today is the 20th of August, you say I'll be available as of the September the 1st. So By then, that they understand that you're available, and they will proceed to take you to the next level, which is the interview with the panel or with the host organization. What's the host organization? The host organization is the organization that has the vacant positions, and they ask the UNV organization that they said that we have this position and we are looking for the right candidate. Can you please send us some candidates to be interviewed? So based on that, you along with 2 others will be going to be interviewed, and mainly those interviews will be carried out over Skype or over like you can just use a phone, over a phone. They can call you and they can ask you the question. So basically there will be Kaksala, we are coming to that. Just stay with us. Yeah, so basically after that you are going to do the interview, and after the interview you will be given a few time, like for example 2 weeks or 3 weeks, sometimes takes more. It depends on the budget of the organizations, the management, and they have the internal policy. So based on that, they're going to reply to you. So basically, if you are selected, you will receive the offer and the notification, and even if you are not selected, you will still be informed about the result of the interview. What are the benefits for international volunteer before we are coming to the national or online volunteers? I think I'm going to focus on that because the international volunteer, it's very competitive, but once you get it, you will have a great chance to boost your career in a way that you cannot imagine. That you will have a great connection, and you will be an international agent, that you'll have access to more and more opportunities abroad. So when you say volunteer with the United Nations doesn't mean that you have to work for free. You will still be provided with some allowances. They don't call salary, they call allowances. The allowances is a decent allowance actually. You can live with dignity, you can travel, you can eat, you can enjoy life. And you are still included, and you will have more benefits with the organization. In terms of the level of the career, or in terms to the professional level, you are equal to a professional employee. So you are equal to a regular employee with United Nations. When there is an international staff member as a professional in the professional category, you will be the same level in terms of title, in terms of tasks and responsibilities. The only thing that you lack is the financial compensations or the allowances. They are getting the full salary, which is very decent, very high salary, but you may get considerably less than that. When I say less than that, you can expect in the countries that they have a hard life, or that the situation is not very safe, but safe for you. At the United Nations, it's very safe, like you are living in a compound, you have security, you have everything. But as I mentioned, maybe you are not free for moving around freely because of your security, of your safety. So that you can expect around starting from $2,000 as allowance, and a part of that you have other benefits such as danger pay, which is in UNV it's called hardship, and this hardship has 4 levels: A, B, C, D. So comparing to the levels of the safety or danger, you'll be rewarded. So it's very dangerous, or the condition is not bearable, it's very hot, it's a scorching area, like in the southern part of the world, in Africa, you have to live in a condition that's not very pleasant. In that case, you'll be rewarded one more $1,000. So sometimes it goes between $2,000 to $4,000. And at the same time, you'll be provided with accommodation, mostly with sometimes with food, with meals, or sometimes you have to pay for your meals if you have access to go to the market, and also the allowance, or let's say the salary, will be based on the level of the life conditions or the cost of living in a certain country. Being international UNV, it's beneficial not only for the salary or for the experience, but as I mentioned, there's a proverb in English says that a good lawyer is not the one that knows the law. A good lawyer is the one that knows the judge. So what does it mean? It means that networking or having contact with other influential people is the key. Without it, if you are believe me, if you are brilliant, if you are very, very smart, you can be successful. You can get a good career, but you'll get tired. I mean, you'll face a lot of constraints, and that make you a bit slower. So if you have a chance to go there, you will meet with different international professional staff members that have accumulated years of experiences from different parts of the world, and you can be their friends and you can learn from them. They are generously ready to help you and to guide you. It depends on your communication and interaction with them. So by then, if you are ENV, sometimes if you go back to YouTube, you will see that there are people, when they're asked how did you end up working with the United Nations, it's a rewarding career, how are you working with them, they are going to tell you that we started as a volunteer. So when you start as a volunteer, you'll accumulate experiences. That the same experience that any staff members can gain it throughout their life career. So whenever you have the experience, you're a potential candidate to be accepted should there be any vacant position in that mission. And to have a clear idea about the UNV, UNV is an independent organization that has partnership with UN agencies, international NGOs, the other NGOs, that whenever they demand for a candidate, UNV is going to provide it. That's in terms of the international volunteer. One more thing, you have a limited time your contract would be either 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years, and it's renewable, and sometimes you will have to relocate to a new duty station. So in general, I would like to tell you that it's not an easy access. It's not an easy way. If you apply today and tomorrow you send an email, I haven't received an email from UNV, what's happening, why they are not contacting me. You have to expect months, you have to expect year, sometimes you will receive it in a couple of months. When I started filling out my form, within 2 weeks I received the first offer. So I have explained on my webpage that the offer that I have received, some of them from Ethiopia, from Africa, from Sudan, from others, some of them that I was not available, and some of them I went to the interview and I was not selected because there were other strong candidates that they could beat me in the interview. So you have to be patient. Maybe first time you will go and you will not be successful, second time again. So you have to have it as a second plan, as a B plan. It's not, you don't have to focus on it, but it's something that you have to put it as a plan for your career. Well, and a part of the international volunteer, we have national volunteer, which you will have to contribute in your country. That doesn't need to have a certain age. Anyone can apply, even if you are studying, you can still apply. If you are, of course, after the higher school, it's better to be at college level or diploma or anything like that. It's better. Then you can fill out the form, and when you fill out the form, you have to tick the box that says, are you ready or do you like to serve as a national volunteer? So for national volunteer, you have less, the salary is less actually, is very symbolic amount of allowances that will be provided. So a part of that, you're working in your country, you don't have to be a full-time employee, so you can study, you can do your work and also be part of the UN. The third one and last one is the UNV, is being a volunteer online, that you can volunteer from your home, from your computer. You have different programs. You can be working as a researcher, as a writer, as a journalist, or helping organizing events, or you can be, if you have a good English level, you can be an English tutor, teaching a group of children in another part of the world when they need help, for example in Somalia, in Sudan, in India. So you can do it online. I assume that each of you can start, because we all have internet, we all have access to internet, which is free. So why not? Why you don't get involved? When you get involved, actually the only thing, when you contribute, you will learn. Now when I'm talking to you, I refresh my memory and I'll get motivation. So in general, I'd like to tell you this. I'm going to give more career advice or tips in later live videos, but for you guys it's very important to be motivated and to be confident in yourself, and United Nations or any other organization, I'm talking about volunteerism. So volunteerism as a concept can take you somewhere, can broaden your network, your contacts, and can help you grow in your career. So while you're studying, I'm actually addressing this to those of you who are still students. While you're studying, please do not waste any chance, or try to be in as many events as you can, a part of your studying, because that will help you one day as your experience. You don't have to complain about what happened experience when you go to somewhere. And one day our country will become like that even volunteer experiences would be as pivotal or as important as or paid or professional experiences. Okay. So in general, this is the general overview, and if those of you who doesn't speak or doesn't understand Kurdish, you can go back to my page, only watch the screen-based explanation that I have explained everything, the websites, how you filled out step by step, section by sections, and how you are going to fill out the form. Now I'm going to stop the explanation. And thank you for watching, and I will be very glad to reply to your questions. Please, if you have questions, you can write it down to me, and I'm going to read it here. Kak Salar Daudi, when you filled out, you said that when you filled out, they're asking for the level of education. You know, guys, you have something that you don't need anyone sometimes. You're welcome, Yasir, you're welcome, Amir. It's my pleasure to be in a hell. Actually, I feel good to be with you guys. So for your questions, the easiest way, if you don't understand something, you have Mr. Google. So you can go back to Google and, for example, say, write the comparison between English levels, ABC, to the level of English, something like that. To try to be creative and looking for the phrase. So you can easily find it. I don't have to explain to you, but it's basically starting from the beginner to the advanced. So you can say C, maybe the advanced. So you just look at the level of your language and how do you assess yourself, or have you ever did a placement test for studying an English course. You can have the level of your language, or you can approximately say it. It's not something rigid. You can write it down according to your estimation. Mr. Rabin, they are going to contact you by mail, and mostly if you didn't see the mail, maybe they are going to contact you by phone. So that I recommend you to use an email that you are regularly checking. And this is very important, and remind me a very important thing. Now, for you, Rabin, and all of you guys, now we are living in a century that having email or having an email account is as important as having your phone number, your cell phone. Everything now became an email, so every communications, professional communications in the world are becoming through email exchange or email trafficking. So I recommend you guys to have an email that at least once a day you check your email. Yasser, you can find the link for the form on my webpage, Abbas Ali, and if you couldn't find my webpage and this webpage that I'm live on, the exchange program for Iraqis, I think they also have shared it. Mr. Amir, the reference is someone that are supporting you or someone that are testifying that you have a good personality, you have a good interpersonal skills, or they know about you, whether they are your university professor or they are your supervisor from the previous work, or someone who knows you or familiar with your capacities, with your skills, with your abilities. So it's someone, usually the company or the organization are trying to reference check, or they're going back to them and asking about you. So usually it will be in the form of a sheet or a form. They're asking the referees to fill out on your behalf. So at least it should be 1 or 3. So at least, I mean, according to the limits, you have to write it down. They ask the minimum 1, so you have at least to include 1. So the maximum it cannot be more than 3 reference. So it'd be between 1 to 3. That's great. That's better actually. It's much professional. You don't have to worry about your phone, and sometimes you are in a crowd. You can answer your phone. It's always professional to receive it by email. No, it doesn't have to be Amir. It doesn't have to be. It can be anyone, as I mentioned. It can be anyone professional, or as I mentioned, if you don't have even experience, it can be your university professor or someone who are familiar about you. So it doesn't have to work with the UN bodies. Rezan, I didn't understand your question. Must be native speakers with them. Can you clarify more? You are welcome, Yasser. It's okay, Rasul Shakha. The aim of online. Oh, so you're asking about the live. Actually, you can get back to it later on, because you are about to you are going to include it shortly. So it's about volunteerism, how to become volunteer on the national or international levels with the United Nations, which calls unv.org, so you can learn about it. I'll be great, Yasser. When you come to North, just let me know. I'm living in Suleimania. No, Khan Rehan, no, it's not only for Iraqi. Actually, it's worldwide. Everybody from around the world are applying and serving. So as I mentioned, every year around 6,000 to 6,500 UNVs are working in the field and helping the vulnerable peoples. You're welcome, Khan Rasul. Kagzana, I didn't understand what you are referring to. anyone wanted to be as a volunteer with UN? I think that there are many people who are interested by that I'm receiving messages from people that are very interested. And guys, I would like to tell you something. I am not in a position to help you. Sometimes I'm receiving messages, Mr. Abbas, you have had good experience with different companies, different organizations. Can you help us to find a job? I hope I could be in help, but I only can guide you. From my previous 10 years experience with international organizations and international companies, I have accumulated a humble experience that I'm ready to share with you, and I'm also still in the learning process. I'm also still looking for someone who are more or way better experienced that I can learn from. So please take this as an opportunity that there is not an easy way. You have to try. You have to be dedicated. You have to take effort. It's not easy. It's not someone that granting you a position. It's not something that is giving for granted. So you have to work for it. You have to put this in mind and work on it on a daily basis. No, Kak Salar. Actually no. I see it differently. I believe that IT and computer is one of the backbone of any organizations. Any organization needed, because every organization need a system, need HR system, need to manage the data of the employees. So I think you will have better chance than me, that my background is low, because for example I have to work only the fields that are related to my experiences or to my degree. But when it comes to IT and computer, yes, it's important actually. And usually can see it on UN.org that they are advertising it. So guys, I have 5 more minutes. If you have questions, please ask. Mr. Yusuf, I think you are a bit late for the party because we are about to conclude it. I suggest you go back to the video once it's uploaded online, so you can start from the scratch, because actually you have explained almost everything. Yeah. You're most welcome. And please, there is something about applying for UN positions. Please make sure that when you read the position, don't immediately open your email and send your CV. It's not the right way. Thank you, Aksala. So actually you have to read it carefully, because sometimes if the organizations or the vacancy asking for certain requirement and you are not complying with it, you will be ignored. You will not be considered to be shortlisted. Kagrebin, when you are receiving the email, actually you have 2 options. Sometimes you say that, for example, inside your country you have received a 1-year contract with an organization that you are not thinking of leaving it. So in that case, you have an option to deactivate your account. What I mean deactivating, just you are not marked available. Then you will not receive any position. Besides, if you are available, if you kept your account available and you stay online for the system, once you receive an offer from the organization, you have 3 options. Either decline it, so you say I'm not available at the moment, there is no any negative consequences for that. You say that I'm not available at the moment, and for the next future or the near future they are going to send you another offer. Or when you say that I'm available, Rezan, I think I'm speaking reasonably loud. And so basically, if you say that you're available, they're asking for a date. So you have just to reflect that which date you are going to be available. Thank you, Kagamir, for the question. That reminds me something actually I was about to miss. There are two categories of positions with UNV. The first one, as I mentioned, that you'll be inside the talent pool along with your colleagues or your friends from around the world, that you're all competing to be accepted or to receive invitation for interview. Another part, which is relatively new, is it's somewhere when you go to my page, when you open the UNV and you have your account, you go to my page, and down below you'll find a button called special call. So on the special call, you click on it and you'll view all the available positions throughout the world. And you can simply click on it and read the detail. So beside the one that you are expecting from them, that those positions are not advertised, they are not announced, you have to wait for them. For the active members, of the proactive members, they want to engage in the part of the special call, you can apply for the positions that you find it much suitable to your skills. So special call is the right place to apply from yourself, and at the same time there are possibility that you will receive offer from them. Yes, Dunya, there is a website called vmam, vmam.org, if I'm not mistaken. And if you go back to my page, Abbas Ali with double B, you'll find I have shared the link to fill out the form. Have I exhausted all your questions? No more questions? Did I miss anyone? Thank you, Amir, for sharing. Yes, that's a link actually. You can you go to the candidate and you'll sign up. And some of you have complained about the problem of asking for a password, or you are receiving a wrong password error title. Muhammad, what do you mean by it's fun? It's not a project. You'll be working as a semi-employee, so you will be given allowances. You're most welcome, Kak Rabin. Welcome, Abin. And I'd like to say that those of you who have no experience, I'm quite sure that each of you have a friend or friends, a group of friends that are very experienced in certain field. I encourage you, and I really encourage you to try to use their skills and to ask questions and try to talk to them. And I'm sure that when you listen, you will learn and you will have a bigger step toward your goal. So you don't have to only wait for your personal experiences. You can also rely on the others who have been successful in life, in their professional life, so you can spend some time with them. So by then you will have more knowledge, and you'll find the right path to start. Because the key is, as I mentioned, I'm going to repeat it. I don't have any doubt that there are many young people that are talented. They speak better than me in English. They have a good skills in the IT skills, English skills, and they also have the analytical skills. So what I suggest that if you have friends that are working with international organizations, try to talk to them, try to ask for advice. Kaksalar, can you rephrase the question? I'm not sure if I can follow. So for the future, I'm going to focus on. Do you believe it's better to? I'm going to ask this question live, or you can answer me later on. Do you want me to carry on in English, or you don't have a problem? You go back to Kurdish. Yes, Kaksalar, I assume that you mean no, there is no guarantee actually, but yes, there is priority. Whenever you're in the cycle, as I mentioned, whenever you're in the cycle, you have experience, and as you're working, you can look for other opportunities elsewhere. Then you can apply, or also the connection works. So when you meet with the international staff members, they may recommend you other. Well, I'm not talking about nepotism. Please be careful about that. It's not about nepotism. It's about connection. The connection means they are going to expose you to different opportunities, or they guide you, or they tell you where the opportunity is, or you yourself will have a better understanding of the UN vacancy system. So you're going to update yourself, and you already have the experience, so you have the priority. Yes, of course, comparing to someone who's outside the system. Dunya, what was your second comment? I'm sorry I missed it. Can you repeat the question, please? So I'm going to explain for those of you who doesn't speak English or doesn't understand English. أو أنتم كإنجليزي نازانن هول أيام لا فكاين دعات وزياتر بين باشا كلا كتاي حفتها بوقت لا بين شما نابێت توانم لای ویداهاتوومان بە کوردی بێت کە بتوانن هەندێکدان لی تێ بگەن هەندێک advice بین لەو بارەیە. And always remember, please, if you have something to share, please share with your friends. And maybe you have friends that they are not aware about the opportunities. You know that it's always it's well known. There's a proverb in English that says sharing is caring, and happiness is only real when it's shared. So if you have the opportunity, please share with others. Unfortunately, in our community, we always believe that we have to keep the opportunity for us so that no one can take it. If my friend knows about the opportunity, he's going to take it from me. No, that's not. I used to be having the same mindset once in my life. But then I realized, no, if you are meant to have an opportunity, you will get it no matter how hard other people are competing with you. So may God interfere in that case. So if you share with others, more people will be visible and they have more opportunities. They are desperately need the opportunity, so try to share whatever you get in life. So whenever you talk to people or to contribute, as I mentioned, you will still get more knowledge and you will learn by yourself. Roshna, you have to fill out the form. Doesn't have to. I don't understand what you mean by when we can start. Yes, of course, Kak Amir. Any relevant training courses can be very helpful and tremendously important for your application. So please include them. It's better, in particular when you are mentioning that it's coming from such organization. Roshna, if you mean the career or starting your career, yes, CV is important, and I'm going to dedicate a live how you write a CV or how you write a motivation letter, how you invite yourself for interview, because not every CV is read by the HR colleagues. So you have to make sure how you write your CV, because you are trying to sell yourself. How are you marketing your potential, your careers, or your skills? So I'm going to dedicate one live for that, which I assume that most of you, especially those of you who are graduating or are new to the career life, you need it. So basically I'm going to provide you with more advices if that's welcomed by you and if you found it helpful. If not, I'm going to stop. Otherwise, I'll be very glad to be with you from time to time, and usually I'm thinking of showing up every weekends on the Thursday night maybe, so that we discuss different topics. And if you have any certain topic of your interest, you can just message me and I'm going to include in the next webinar. And I would like also to tell you guys that maybe I will not be able to answer all messages in detail, because sometimes you're asking a simple question that needs a paragraph of answer that I don't have time to type all of it, and I'm a lazy typer. That's why I'm a lazy typist. That's why I'm trying to collect all your questions to be answered in a face-to-face video like this. Yes, Hannah, absolutely. Learn English, it's required actually. Kag Muhammad, when did you apply? I have just mentioned this, please. You have to be patient with the UNV. It's not a process, it's not a fast track process. You have to be patient. So it can take a month, 2 months, several months. It can take a year, but you don't have to stop your life. You can carry on your life, and at the same time you have your profile active. And Kag Muhammad, you remind me something is actually you have to make sure you always update your profile. Yes, Kag Hariam. For the international volunteer, if you go to the website also in the frequently asked question, you can find it. And for the international volunteers, you have to be at least 22 years old in terms of the age. And for the language, you must speak English. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to have IELTS or you don't have to have an English test, because the process and the interview, they are going to assess your ability, your English ability. So you must have English, you must have this limited age, at least 22, and there is no the maximum age. So at least 22 will be fine. And also if you have a couple of years experience, possibly 2 years of experience in the relevant field, whether it's human rights, field coordinator, IT, any other fields. And in addition to that, sometimes some positions they're asking for high school certificate or degree or bachelor degree, and some of the positions are much senior. They are going to ask you for a master degree, MA degree. You are very welcome, Kagimir. It's my pleasure. So I'm going to dedicate the next week. Actually, I would like to give you one more thing. There is a program called Young Professional Program. I'm going to do a live video also on that. That will give you also a fast track opportunity to go up in the career ladder, and which is open now, and the deadline is in August. So I'm going to explain step by step how can you fill out the form. It's not UNV actually, it's professional. You'll be paid similar to the international staff members. And the good news is that you don't need to have experience. كاك صباح جن همان لايف مان بالفيديو كردو لبيجي خو معنا بلام هندق لهاوريان كلا نوراس خوارو عراق ودري ولات داوایان کردبوو لە کوردی تێناگەن داوایان کردو بە بەنگلیزی بیکەین بۆی داوانام هەفتەی بەنگلیزی بێت ئەگەر جەناب بەتاقەت هەبێت بگەڕێتەوە سەر پەیجەکەی خۆم. Yes, Kag Bauer, YPP, Young Professional Program. We're going to dedicate a live for that. Kag Zana, as I mentioned, UN positions are very transparent. You don't have to ask anyone. You have the website, you can go to the website, and on a regular basis they're going to announce positions. So you go to unami.org and you explore the positions that are available, whether it's in Suleimania, Duhok, Erbil, whatever in Iraq. So you can find the right position and apply it, but I'm not sure if there is any vacant position right in the moment. Kag Bauer, you will. And one more last thing which is very important, please. For UN positions, try to be mindful when you're applying, because some of the young professional or young motivated young people, when they are applying for a position, when they are seeing the position, they are immediately going to the email and they just shut the CV and that's it. No, you do not need to send your CV. For most of the UN positions, you need to fill out this particular form which is called P11. P11, it's listed in the below of each vacancy that you're applying on unami.org. So you have to understand how to fill it out and to put the right title for the positions and the reference for the positions. So please be careful, don't send your CV for the position unless it's required, but basically it will be through a special form. Okay guys, thank you very much for staying with me so far, and I hope that tonight's video was helpful for you, and I hope that you got some information, especially those guys of you who are not speaking Kurdish. I have a special and warming greeting from Suleimania to you guys. and please feel free to to stay in touch and to carry on watching our videos or live career videos, so I'll be able to help you. And once again, thank you very much for all your comments, for listening, and for sharing this video for your friends later on. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kak Bauer, for inviting me for your precious page, which I would like to thank you for being a dedicated young person, distributing all the opportunities that we are finding them valuable for the young people. We really appreciate that, and once again, thank you for inviting me. It was a great honor to be here, and I hope that later on other people will be able to interact and to learn more from the video and try to practice it on the website. And wish you all a wonderful night. Goodbye.